Pokémon!
A Jigglypuff seen from above.
Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I love finding affordable ways to DIY a variety of things. Money can't buy everything except maybe figures. I love collecting figures and recreating iconic scenes. Every figure deserves to shine on my display. So every week I ask myself the same question and answer it by creating something I'm proud of. Join my weekly adventure by subscribing to my channel. Leave your feedback and suggestions down below. I often get inspired by your comments, and I hope I can inspire you too. Last time, I fixed my Ironmonger figure from the first Iron Man movie and upgraded the arc reactor and made a case for it. Check that video out if you haven't already. Today, I want to make something for my Amiibo figures. Specifically, my Pokémon Amiibos. I never intended to collect any Amiibo figures, but one day when I was at a toy store, I saw this second-hand Charizard Amiibo figure, and I thought it looked just like the Charizard I saw on TV when I was a kid. Since it was a second-hand figure, it was a bit cheaper than I expected, so I got it. Then, they released the Mewtwo Amiibo figure. It's Mewtwo. I had to get it. Then there's the Ivysaur Amiibo. Some of you may know this. I used to capture every Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, or Venusaur I encounter, and I might have had a shrine of Bulbas at one point, so I couldn't miss this. And because of that, I had to get the Squirtle one too. Gotta get all 3 starters. And finally, I found a used Pikachu and Jigglypuff at a different toy store recently. Gotta complete my Gen 1 collection. Okay, technically this isn't a Gen 1 Pokemon, but it's Pichu. It's so cute. How do you resist its cuteness? So I'm gonna include Pichu in my display too. So, can I make it? I thought about making a battle display based on the Game Boy games. But then I would only be able to display 2 Pokemon at a time. But the main problem with that is that one of the Pokemon will have its back facing me. And I learned my lesson with my other Amiibo video. I recreated a Final Fantasy VII game cover with my Cloud Amiibo figure. But over time, I didn't like that I couldn't see his face, so I made another display for him. Check those videos out if you haven't already. Back to this video. I ended up going with the obvious choice, making a display based on the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game. There are a lot of stages to choose from, and I decided to go with the Pokemon Stadium stage since it makes the most sense and will not be distracting and taking away the attention from the figures. Speaking of distractions, I love these Amiibo figures, but the circular bases bother me when I have them on my shelf. I understand that that's what makes the Amiibo special. The ability to tap them onto Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo Switch to unlock bonus features and save progress with them. But if I'm making a display for my Amiibo figures, I'm gonna hide those bases as much as possible. Alright, here's the main stage and the floating platforms. Looking good so far. Gotta figure out how to make the platforms float later on though. Okay, here's everything printed. It's a thick stack. Cut, cut, cut. It's gonna take me a while to cut everything out. I usually speed through this and try to keep the videos relatively short. But in reality, this process can take from hours to days to an entire week, depending on how complex the models are. This is also why I generally like to keep my models as angular as possible to minimize the amount of folds. But some days it feels just like I'm stuck in a time loop because I'm folding and gluing the same thing over and over again. Luckily, I'm a pretty patient person. I can wait until everything's fully dried before I move on to the next step. Most of the time. There were times that I were trying to be speedy and the tabs would not stay glued. And then the paper would start warping and become even harder to glue. Oh, the trickiest part in my opinion is figuring out which tabs to glue first and which ones to do last. If done right, it feels like I'm just closing a box. Easy peasy. But when done in the wrong order, it's a mess. I end up with glue all over my gloves and all over the model. Luckily, there's a nice balance of simple and complex pieces here, so it's pretty fun to fold. Alright, here's the main stage and the platforms. You may notice the 2 holes on the platform. Those are there so I can insert the circular amiibo bases into them. And now, let's put the rest of the figures under the stage to see where each one of them should go. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna trace around the bases so I know where to cut the holes. Ta-da! That looks much better. Time to put everything together. Here are all the pieces. Now all I gotta do is glue everything down. Oh no, I forgot about these side pieces. I didn't take into account that these pieces may get into the way of the figures. Uh-oh. Let's hope this still works. If it doesn't, then I'll improvise and figure something out. Let's start with the main stage. These little things are a pain to glue, but I need them there to add a bit of stability to the stage. I wasn't sure if the paper can hold the weight of the amiibo figures, so these pieces here are there to reinforce the structure. And for the platforms, I need to elevate them with something sturdy. Paper would not do in this case, so I dug around my bin of unused materials and found these wall mounts for my shelves. I figured I could superglue two of them together and form this C-shaped bracket thing, which I can then attach them to the stage. I also wrapped masking tape around them so they will be strong enough to support the figures and I won't have to worry about them falling apart. So let's see if this works. Hiya! The glue has fully dried and is working. Yay! Now I can just add the final touches to the stage. Alright, it's time to figure out which Pokemon goes where. Let's start with Mewtwo. He's the coolest, so he gets to be on this platform, since he's obviously facing this direction. Next is Pichu. Because he's the only Gen 2 Pokemon here, and he's much cuter than Pikachu, I'm gonna place him right in the center. Next, Ivysaur. I love how dynamic Ivysaur looks, and Ivysaur has a good side, so I want to make sure his good side is shown. Next is his buddy Squirtle. I'm gonna place Squirtle here because every time I use Squirtle, I slide right off the stage. Okay fine, that's a bit mean. I'll put Squirtle here instead. Next is Pikachu. Pikachu can go here to stop Squirtle from falling. And then Jigglypuff. She looks great right next to Ivysaur. They look like they're having a blast together. And finally, Charizard. Charizard's gonna go up there against Mewtwo. There we go. Oh, almost forgot about the side pieces. Luckily, because the bases are flush against the top of the stage, I can still attach these under the stage without any modifications. Whew. I just have to make sure I don't put glue onto the areas that touch the amiibo figures, so I can still remove them if I want to. Ah, this looks so cool. It's so colorful and fun. It looks like everyone's having fun on the display. But these pieces here still bother me. Longtime viewers of mine know that I don't love obvious stands. In this case, they aren't that bad, but I want to hide them and make them become part of the display. So my solution is to add a giant screen right in front of them, so you don't see the stands. Let's slide it in and see how it looks. Ooh, that is perfect. It goes with the Super Smash Bros. Theme so well. What do you guys think? Do you like what I've done? Do you collect amiibo figures? I don't think I'll collect any more amiibo figures, since they aren't the cheapest figures around and I'm pretty happy with the collection I have. I really like how this turned out. My original intention was to make a display base for my amiibo figures to stand on, so my expectation wasn't that high. But the final result is so cute. The color palette is so pleasing to look at. The placement of the figures is great too. There's a nice balance of warm and cool colors between each figure. If I put Pichu and Pikachu together, Squirtle and Ivysaur together, the colors will clash due to the similar tones. It also helps that the Pokemon look so dynamic. It's almost like they're moving and dancing on stage. Which one of these Pokemon is your favorite? I always try to use Ivysaur when I play Smash Bros, because I want to support my Bulbasaur friend. But then I always get stuck at the same spot and not able to hit anything. But whenever I switch to Squirtle or Charizard, I always end up flying off the stage. maybe I'm just not that good at Super Smash Bros. Before I end this video with a video montage, I do kinda want to make a solo display from a Mewtwo Amiibo figure. I kinda have an idea. Let me know if you want to see that. Alright, montage time! I know most of my audience is here to watch my Marvel Legends videos. So for those who are watching this video, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. My goal for this channel is to make sure all my favorite toys and figures get to shine on my display. Sometimes small figures deserve some love too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Next week's video should be a Marvel Legends video again, so stay tuned for that. Stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.